Hello, Internet world. It is time for a brand new vlog coming to you, sadly, from my webcam. This is a quick update. I have just completed episode 1 of Life is Strange, episode 1. As you all know, I downloaded the demo for it and played it, and credits are rolling. Right now, I should probably turn that off. Okay, so in case you haven't seen the Let's Play, you can actually go back. In fact, I will include a link for both videos in the description. Discovers, through a form of fate, destiny, that she suddenly is gifted with the ability to rewind time. Inadvertently, she rewinds time and starts repeating moments that she's already seen. And then as the game progresses, you find out that you can go back in time and kind of change choices or certain things that you've done. And you go back to the bathroom incident and you save this girl's life. The girl, who turns out to be Chloe, who used to be a very close friend to Max up until 5 years ago when you moved. And now you're back and da-da-da. Check out the Let's Play. Well, the Let's Play doesn't explain that. But, this is, I will say, this is very much taking exactly what Telltale has been doing with their Choose Your Own Adventure stories and such. This borrows incredibly heavy from it. Only it's not made by Telltale. It's made by Don't Nod and Square Enix. It's kind of funny, too, because the graphics for this don't look really as good as it would from a typical Square Enix sponsored game. I mean, it looks fine, but it doesn't look as superior as it would today, with like the finer graphics. But then again, maybe this is a low-budget game. And the voice acting is good, the music in it is good. Some of the models look a little weird from time to time. Like when they're talking, and moving towards you and gesturing and such, like their heads feel like they're kind of on a swivel at times. And some of the character animations, while they're talking, will repeat and kind of do the same thing. Like, I noticed Max does this thing with her hair. She pretends to grab some of it and move it out of her face and such. There was an interesting decision that I had wondered, would it be different with what I did? For example, as you make your way out of the bathroom and you go to leave because the fire alarm's going off, the principal, he wants to talk to you because he notices how stressed out you look and blah, blah, blah. You have a choice to tell him about what you saw with Nathan, that he was carrying a gun, or not say anything. You tell him about Nathan, and he says, well, what am I to make of this? You are accusing a very high-ranking student. I'm an A-plus student, blah, blah, blah. You don't tell him, he kind of lectures you. Well, when you leave the school, he does call him into the office. You don't say anything, you don't hear any sort of announcement. Well, when you go out to the parking lot to meet a friend of yours to give back his flash drive, a friend of yours who clearly has a lot of great feelings for you, you try to talk to him about what's been going on, probably tell him about your powers that you suddenly have. Nathan shows up, starts harassing you. Now, if you told the principal, he mentions that. If you didn't, he somehow knew that you were in the bathroom because while you were in there, originally you shredded your picture you were going to use in order to turn it in for your project. Nathan is a complete and utter psycho. He's a douchebag. Stereotypical rich kid, thinks he can do whatever he wants, blames other people for his problems, when it's just, you're an asshole. You are a selfish douche asshole who thinks you can do whatever the hell you want because you have money. Go fuck yourself. And of course, that also turns out later, as you learn from Chloe, he tried to date rape her and was gonna hell, drugged her, in fact, and was drugging other kids in school with badly laced drugs, probably fucking them up really bad, you know. And of course, she was blackmailing him, but she did have a good reason, as you find out later, the fact that he tried to date rape her, nearly succeeded, in fact, and that he is dealing drugs, and it's like, you're rich. Why the hell would you need to do that? For kicks? To have your own sort of form of authority? You're rich. What? The things people do, these things don't make sense to me. And, anyway, you end up, reuniting with Chloe, and there were flyers all over the school of this girl named Rachel Adams, I believe, who's been missing for several months. Chloe and her were incredibly close. Chloe was putting up all the pictures. And sometime later, you go out to, this lighthouse that kind of overlooks the lake or the ocean or wherever this place is located. And it's interesting because this is the same place where you start out at the very beginning of the game, where you're kind of having a nightmare. And there's this huge tornado. Well, while you're out there, you're talking to Chloe, and you tell her, she tells you everything about what happened with Nathan, all of that background information, and and you are talking to her about what happened. All of a sudden, you have another flashback where you go back to that moment where you were, and and this is also where a lot more of your time travel powers are kind of explained to you. This is a lot more of how this game is going to work. Like, you're going to be using your time, your ability to rewind time in order to avoid obstacles that could kill you, or change events that will have consequences and determine what may or may not happen. Some things a bit different than others, some are not. Typical illusion of choice, as I've stated in much older vlogs. And you realize what's going on when you get to the top of the lighthouse hill. You find a sheet of paper that is dated 4 days later in the future from where you currently are in time. And you get a good look at where this tornado is. It's coming towards the town, and it's going to wipe it out. So you realize, like fate and destiny, that you were given these powers for a reason. Now it's just a matter of like how you use them. And after this event, you confess everything to Chloe about you having this ability, you saving her life. Of course, she knew that because she recognized some sort of this blue butterfly that she saw in the bathroom. She notices that you took its picture, which you did, and she realized, oh my god, you were there. You were there. You were the one who pulled the fire alarm. I mean, you saved my life. And, And, of course, Chloe, she doesn't believe you. There are so many ways in which you could, do to prove it to her. You could go back in time and just tell her exactly what she's thinking and, and what she's going to say to you or whatever. Then suddenly it starts snowing, and Chloe says, it's 75 degrees. I mean, why the hell would it be snowing? And Max says, it's a climate change, meaning that a storm is coming. And then Chloe starts believing you. And then she wants you to tell her more, and then that's kind of how the episode ends. Of course, you start seeing footage of all the other characters who I imagine you're going to start making choices about who lives, who dies, who you save, and, and various other things. I'm already kind of making that decision about particular characters. All in all, this was good. The time travel mechanic does make it a bit different, for certain. It does at least give it that interesting factor to it. The fact that the fact that once you make a decision, you can choose to change it, but only while you are still in that area. Once you leave that area, that choice remains as it was. I do kind of wonder what else could be different. And this is actually currently my second playthrough. I already have 2 saves, and on this second save, I've finished the game. I'm tempted to see what happens with the first playthrough I've done, where I did tell on Nathan to the principal. I stopped, or I intervened with a character being harassed by Chloe's stepdad, who's also the security guard of the school. That's about the only other differences or changes or choices that I've made. I don't know when episode 2 is coming out, probably in another couple of weeks. There's already a season pass to pre-buy the whole season. I don't know how many episodes there will be. It's interesting because I had a theory about how this game might end, or how the story might end in some way. Not for episode 1, but for the climax. Because I was wondering, wouldn't it be interesting if it turned out at the end there's this revelation that says, in order to stop all of this from happening, you have to go back to that very first decision that you made that changed everything, changed all of this. You need to go back and you need to change it. That you need to go back and let Chloe die. That is a big theory that I had. If that does still come into play, that would be interesting. The Victoria character, after you set it up so that her outfit gets covered in paint after, she's, I'm blocking you from entering the dorm rooms because I'm a bitch and I'm better than you, blah, blah, blah. And you have a choice of either making fun of her or comforting her. I did originally choose to make fun of her, and she said, I'll make you pay for this, and I'll make sure that other friends of mine know, and blah, blah, blah. So I wondered what would happen if I comforted her, and when I did, she was nice to me, and she apologized, and she took down or deleted a picture that she took of you, where she was making fun of you, blah, 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 and she removed it. And when that first happened, I thought, character development. That's good, game. That's good. I do wonder how long that lasts, or if that will have really any deep meaning as the episodes go on. Because if it doesn't, that's going to be really damn irritating. Because, again, that just kind of means illusion of choice. Your choices actually mean nothing. It's always something that kind of annoys me about some of these games, where they act like you have a choice, and they make you feel like that you have a choice. Really, the same thing happens. It's kind of the same result. You still get lectured. You still get attacked. And, I don't know. But other than that, I'm looking forward to episode 2 to see what happens. So, a little bit of mystery. Saving the world, saving a town, decide who lives, who dies. It's interesting. Anyway, those are my thoughts right now on episode 1 of Life is Strange. It's pretty good. I like it. You can probably beat it in probably an hour, perhaps sooner, if you don't explore everything and look at everything. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Check out the Let's Plays. They'll be down below in my descriptions. And hope you enjoyed. See ya. Bye.